Hello, brothers. You may have noticed in your own life or witnessing it in those around you that there's a very fine line between exploring and enjoying your sexual freedom and calling it sexual freedom, but really falling into compulsive behaviors around sexuality in which you turn yourself into a commodity where sex is at the center point of your life and everything else radiates from that. I'm seeing that a lot in social media posts now that it's Pride and it's summer, that there is a lot of use of the body and sexuality as a celebration. And it should be. It's a deep part of our healing as homos to celebrate our sexuality, to celebrate our sexual freedom, to unshame ourselves from the sexual shame that we've carried around. And if this isn't done intentionally, it can look like sexual freedom, it can look like being unashamed, but what it's covering up is the individual's lack of self worth and self understanding. So that there's this hungriness to consistently always be engaging in sexual energy with people. That has definitely happened in my own life where I needed to have someone that I was connected with sexually, whether we were in person or not. Maybe we were sexting each other like a past lover or someone that I wanted to be a future lover. Somewhere in my life, I would have to have this thread of sexual charge that I could kind of come get my dopamine hit from. And what it was hiding, what that was covering up, was I would go to that when I felt lonely. I would go to that when I felt angry. I would go to that when I felt grief. It was like just an impulsive, I need to have something somewhere that's activating this sexuality within me. And what it was keeping me from was knowing myself, was from having a more deep and intimate relationship with myself. Because what I was actually seeking from those experiences, besides the dopamine hit, was intimacy, was that I felt connected to somebody, that I had some level of degree of intimacy, even if it was like a teaspoon when what I needed was a whole pool. But what that was showing me was the lack of intimacy and connection that I had with myself, because I was looking for someone to pour into me because my cup was empty. And I see this as the most major way that we homos do ourselves a disservice, because there's a deep calling to go within and to know ourselves, so that if we are lonely, if we are angry, if we don't feel very good about ourselves, that we don't have to run somewhere else to get our cup filled or to ignore that feeling, that we can be with ourselves, that the number one relationship that we have that is a deeply intimate, connected relationship is that of the relationship with ourselves. If that is not there, everything that we do is some attempt to fill that void. And so this is where the perception of sexual freedom can confuse us and make us feel like we are free and unashamed. But what happens when that sexual connection isn't there? What happens when we're not being objectified or we're not objectifying another person? What happens to our sense of value when there's no one that's giving us likes or attention? What happens when we let go of the external validation and be with ourselves? That's when we know what's true. If everything is done through a sexual filter, we will never feel seen for who and what we truly are. If we're using sexuality as a mask, but hoping that someone will see through that mask, we will never feel seen. There's generally a natural sexual response that would arise in certain settings. And there are other sexual responses that are more compulsive and feel agitated and feel like they need to continuously be engaged with. That is a sign that that sexual impulse is hiding something from you. It's covering something up. Where if you followed that impulse, and let's say you went and hooked up with somebody, after that hookup, would you feel fulfilled? Would you feel at peace? Would you feel like you have some energy, that you received some life force, that it was a good thing for your body, your mind, your heart? Do you have that feeling after that hookup? Or do you leave that hookup and you feel depleted and somehow like you need another hit within another hour or within the next day? If that's the case, that's pointing you to your sexual impulses are structured so as to keep you from deep pain and longing within your own self. And so, what would a sexual impulse or arousal be that is natural or organic? It would be one in which the impulse arises, you might feel it, become a little enlivened by it, and it can just as easily pass if you're not in an engaging sexual moment, right? You're doing the dishes and a fantasy comes and washes over you and you get a little turned on, or you have a memory of a past, or you have an idea of something you would like to do in the future, and you feel it and it feels exciting, and then it just kind of passes and you don't feel this need to instantly act on it. You don't feel a need to engage with somebody so that you can feel and build up that energy, and then it starts to feel frantic. It starts to feel disembodied, and it starts to feel like it's more of this than anything else. So if you're resonating with hypersexuality, or this feeling of needing, longing, lusting as a regular part of your life, and something that feels compulsive, feels like something that you're needing to feed or stoke all of the time, if you're resonating with that, my suggestion for you is that the next time you notice you have a sexual impulse, instead of externalizing and going somewhere else, and instead of even engaging with your sexuality by yourself, that you close your eyes, take a pause, maybe give yourself 15 minutes to say, I want to be with what's underneath this. What's underneath this sexual impulse? It's probably some level and desire of intimacy that you're hoping to get met from somebody else, but that you can start to give to yourself. What level of emotional intimacy am I requiring right now? What would I hope to get out of meeting up with somebody or engaging with porn? Possibly that you feel a little less alone. How can you be there for yourself? What are the emotional needs that you're having that aren't being met that you can start to meet for yourself? Every single one of our emotional needs are things that we can pour into ourselves, which does not mean that we need to do life alone. And when we are coming into relationship, whether it's sexual or otherwise, with a full cup, when we are coming into these dynamics, knowing who we are and having a sense of appreciation and connection to ourselves, where we're not leaving ourselves for the sake of another or for the sake of pleasure, then we will be able to engage from a place that is uplifting and that makes us feel energized and alive with our sexuality and not depleted by it. It gives us far more of a chance to actually have deeper intimacy with others and to feel that that longing that we're missing inside can be fulfilled, can be seen by another because we have seen it within ourselves. If you'd like a practical way of being with yourself, I'm going to link below the video that is called How to Open Your Heart. It's a very short little journey that you can take to go into what you're feeling and let it cycle all the way through so that you know that you are pouring into yourself and that you're not abandoning yourself. And if you'd like to go a little bit further, there's also a link below to a free workshop that is on self love and the experience of it, where I take you through a journey of all of these different types of experiences and ways to become in more deep, right relationship with yourself and move towards self love and filling yourself up. And then owning your sexuality from a place of fulfillment rather than one of deprivation. I hope this helps support you in your journey, and I'm giving you so much love from over here. Take care.